Hi guys, what is up? My name's Ryan. I'm just going to talk to you guys a little bit about my experience as a male nurse in the UK. I think that the reason I'm doing this is I think that we need to, get more out there so more people know about what nursing is. Because as you'll find out, I had no idea what it is, no idea what modern nursing is, and I could never find any information about it. So I've been a nurse for 7 years now, 7.5 years even. I kind of was in school in sixth form, had no idea what I wanted to do. So I just kind of, my brother's a doctor, and he kind of said, have you thought about nursing? I went, nursing? What do you mean? He was like, yeah, no, it's quite, good career opportunity. So I kind of read up a little bit more about it from sources I could find, and then kind of went to a nursing home to see what that was like, so get a little bit of experience. Then I went to shadow a nurse practitioner in minor injuries. That was pretty interesting. I had no idea, nurse practitioners existed. They essentially are diagnosing patients and sending patients home, which I thought was really interesting. Initially, that was something that I thought I wanted to do. Fast forward a little bit, kind of a year or two, I then applied to study nursing at my local university. Well, I applied for 5, got 3 out of 5, it's alright. But chose the one that was closest to me, and then kind of started on the course. First day when I met my lecturer, he was nice. He kind of, talked me through about what nurse is, what do I expect on the programme. And he initially thought that I wasn't going to make it, but I did. So anyway, I just studied for the 3 years. Then went up to St Thomas's in London. Did that, was a staff nurse there for 2 years, and now I was in stroke and neuro rehab ward. That entails, seeing the patients, doing their vital signs, putting in cannulas, helping with, doing IV antibiotics, doing medicines, facilitating discharges. There's quite a lot involved in being a nurse, and I think that that's something I can explore in, future videos. So I was there for 2 years. Then thought I wanted to kind of progress a little bit. Again, didn't really know what was out there, but I started exploring a little bit more. And I was obviously in the NHS at the time. Then I thought I'd try private out. So gave that a go. Went there as a senior staff nurse into one of the private hospitals. It was good, but I felt like NHS is where I wanted to be at, and I'm not just promoting NHS because NHS, but I just think NHS is probably the best for your career in the UK. It's one of the biggest employers in the UK. So then I went to kind of the hospital I'm in now, which is one of the NHS hospitals, as a band 6 charge nurse. Did that for a year. Essentially, charge nurse, you're kind of leading the shift, coordinating the shift, liaising with doctors on a every day. You're essentially running the ward, and the best way to describe it is you're the captain of the team. So if you like football, you're the captain. You're making all decisions. You're escalating patients when needed to. You're dealing with any complaints. You're really there when no management's about, because you'll be on shifts and it might be 8 p.m. and there'll be no managers there, so you are in charge of the ward. So I did that for about a year. Then went to be a ward manager for a year and 6 months. Funnily enough, that was during COVID. So that was an interesting time. Obviously, COVID being COVID, we were short-staffed at the time. But it was interesting. It was an interesting role, and it's something that I don't think you couldn't experience that anywhere else, especially the management skills. So I was a ward manager at the age of 24. So I think that's something else that you don't really realise when you're looking for your career. If you're looking to study business management, well, actually one of the sections of nursing you go to is nursing management. So I did that for a year and 6 months. That's kind of, again, liaising with doctors. You are really in charge of the ward there. You're taking responsibility, you're doing staff appraisals, you're ensuring that, you're ensuring that the ward's CQC compliant. It's a lot of responsibility, but a very interesting role, and I did quite enjoy that. And then another thing that I went to for a year was a practice development nurse. So that is essentially, you're a nurse educator, so you are training other nurses. You'll get you get newly qualified nurses, you're inducting them into the ward, you're showing them how things are done, for example, cannulation, venipuncture, medications, you're showing them what to do, and that, I love that. And again, that's just one of the different aspects of nursing you can do. And then now my current role is within nursing workforce. That is to do with safe staffing and to do with recruitment retention. So there's actually quite a lot to do with recruitment retention. You want to ensure the best for your staff, so you've got to think of different ways, come up with different ways of ensuring your staff stay in the hospital, essentially, in different initiatives. So it's really fun, and I enjoy that. And then you've got the safe staffing aspect of my role, which is essentially ensuring that the staff for each area is adequate in accordance to we have tools that help us in our judgment. We also get together and have meetings, as a lot of it's about clinical judgment and what to. So I have meetings with the leads for the areas, so that would be the nursing matrons, managers, divisional directors. We also involve different people from the hospital, so that's finance business partners, HR business partners, and we all kind of come together and collectively decide actually what do we think is appropriate staffing for the ward, again using different tools to help us. But anyway, I won't bore you with that too much, but I just thought it's good to know that there's different places you can go within nursing, and there's a load more that I could go on about, but that's my career and that's where I'm up to. Obviously, if you wanted, you could go further up the management ladder. So how it works within nursing is you have your staff nurse, you have your senior staff nurse or charge nurse, then you have your ward manager, then you have a matron, then you have a head of nursing, then you have your divisional director of nursing, which they're responsible for a whole division, so you might have medicine and surgical, and then you have your deputy chief nurse, and then you have your chief nurse. If you wanted to go up that way, there's actually many ways you can go up to the chief nurse route, but that is one way. And then you've obviously got all the specialist nurses, you've got the cardiac specialist nurses, you've got the full specialist nurses, tissue viability specialist nurses. So they're all different specialisms that you could go into within nursing, which actually you end up kind of advising the multidisciplinary team on what the best course of action is for a patient. An example is a patient may have a wound, quite a bad wound. Well, the tissue viability nurse will come into the ward, assess the wound, and actually give advice to the nurses and the doctors. Actually, what's the best way to manage this wound? But yeah, I can kind of go into that, go into the whole different careers within nursing in another video. But I just thought I'd definitely highlight kind of my experience as a male nurse in the NHS, and I hope you liked it. Thank you. See you later.